But let's talk about this NFL thing, and then I'm going to let y'all go so I can get some sleep, because my first school appointment is early. Colin Kaepernick takes a knee. A couple other brothers take a knee. Starts getting international attention, making America look bad. They start asking these retired athletes what they think about it. And instead of Shaquille O'Neal saying he had a right to do it, he should have done it, they killing black folks on the street, Trayvon Martin, Sandra Bland, Tamir Rice.
What do you think about that, Shaq? You heard Heather's last story.
I mean, to each his own. It's something I wouldn't do. You know, his comments were there are injustices. There have always been injustices. You know, me personally, I would probably go about it a different way. You know, my question is, what happened last year? How come you didn't decide to do this last year or the year before that or the year before that? So I don't know Colin, but again, to each his own. I don't really have a say on it, but I would never do that. My father was a military man, and, you know, he protected this country. Uncles are in law enforcement. You know, they go out and work hard every day. Just, you know, other ways to get your point across.
So you're an African American. And a lot of people feel as though, from your perspective, you should be standing with Colin Kaepernick, but you also are pro-military and pro-cop. Can you be both?
Yes, I can be both. Again, you know, my thing is, you know, you have to enter onto the scene one way. You know, people like Muhammad Ali and Bill Russell, they were one way their whole career. You can't show us something and then go to another just because of, you know, certain issues. Again, I'm aware of all the issues, but, you know, my question is, how come you didn't do it last year? Or how come you didn't do it when you first entered the NFL? Again, I don't know, Colin. To each his own. You know, he has his, you know, it's his, you know, constitutional right to do that, but I would never do it.
You know what I mean? Yes, he should have done that. Somebody needs to bring attention to the injustices against my people. Shaquille O'Neal didn't say that. Here's the biggest, blackest man in sports. And instead of supporting his brother, Colin Kaepernick, he goes on national television and says, my father was a military man, so I can't agree with it. What the hell does your father, being a military man, Shaq, have a damn thing to do with us being murdered and shot down by police in cold blood? What does that have to do with it? You can still honor your father who was in the military and still support the need for a protest against that flag and song. What is wrong with you? What is wrong with you? Deion Sanders. Deion Sanders.
You're not going to stand for nothing. Who are you? So I love that. But understand that has repercussions. Now, is he ready to pay those repercussions? Because honestly, you cost owners in their mind a lot of money. A lot of people were turning the channels because guys were not standing for the national anthem, old school persons that were NFL fans as well. So you kind of put the NFL in a little disarray momentarily until that wave kind of left. Now you're saying, you know what, I'll stand for the national anthem. I'll do this. And the owners are like, no, we wanted you to stand last year, not this year. So you're going to have to suffer the repercussions. Is it right? No, it's not whatsoever. But I do understand.
Have you talked to Colin?
No, I haven't.
What would you say to him if you were to speak with him?
He's really going to have to send a letter to all 32 teams, including the commissioner, explaining what's what. And once he looked back on it, was it really worth it? Because he's going to have to say it was, because it was a tremendous stance that he took, and we applaud him for it. But those repercussions are real. And what really transpired within the confines of the NFL, not to mention you haven't had a lot of success on the field. Not saying that's all your fault, because every quarterback they placed behind the center in San Francisco has failed. So that's not just you. That's a system, that's players, that's organization, that's structure, which they did something about.
Who is my favorite defensive player all time? You get on there and say Colin Kaepernick need to write a letter to every team in the NFL. Apology. You want this man to tuck his... Huh? Apologize for what, Deion? And what I don't like about you Negroes in sports is y'all trying to change the narrative about this situation and make it look like it's something personal with Colin Kaepernick. The question, Shaq and Deion, why isn't it personal for you? Why isn't it personal for you? Colin Kaepernick didn't make a mistake. The only mistake he made is thinking you white-loving Negroes was going to show him some type of love. Okay? That's the only mistake. Why didn't y'all back him up? It ain't about Colin Kaepernick. It's about the issue. We're being murdered in disproportionate numbers, and y'all don't say nothing about that? You love being on TV so much that you throw your whole community under the bus to keep that damn commentator's job. My father was in the military, so I can't do it. Michael Vick.
First thing we got to get Colin to do is cut his hair. You know, I mean, listen, I'm not up here to try to be politically correct, but, you know, even if he puts cornrows in it, I don't think he should represent himself, you know, in that way in terms of, you know, just the hairstyle. Just go clean cut. You know, why not? You know, you're already dealing with a lot of controversy surrounding this issue.
That's a fascinating thing to hear you say, Mike.
That he needs to do is, you know, just try to be presentable. I mean, look, all the social media stuff that he's doing, look, we get it, we understand it. It's time for, you know, Colin to step up in a different way. And, you know, I think primarily the reason why he's not signed to a team right now is because of the last 2 seasons.
He needs to cut his hair? Now, in fairness to Michael Vick did take it back after he realized how ridiculous his statement was. But my brother, they destroyed your career for killing dogs. They destroyed your career for killing dogs, but they kill black men every day and go home. They stole your prime years for fighting dogs, but they kill black men and go home. How dare you say he needs to cut his hair? How dare you say he needs to cut his hair? Lil Wayne? Oh, my God.
Skip, they wouldn't want to ask me that. They wouldn't want my answer to represent it because God knows I have been nothing but blessed. My whole path, these 33 years have been nothing but a blessing. I have never, and never is a strong word, I've never dealt with racism, and I'm glad I didn't have to. And I don't know if it's because of my blessings. I don't know if it's, but it is my reality. So I would have to say, not only did I thought it was over, I still believe it's over, but obviously it isn't.
So you've never experienced any offensive behavior from any other color or?
No, sir.
Wow.
But
you are blessed.
But you see what's going on, even in your city, New Orleans, with Alton Sterling.
Yeah.
During Katrina, the
Yeah.
officers that killed those and ended up in jail. So I know you say you're not paying attention to it.
Yeah.
But you see some of the things that
what's going on.
Right.
Yeah.
I didn't even know Lil Wayne was interviewed on Undisputed with Skip and Shannon. That was about a year ago. I was late. I just saw it a couple weeks ago. I can't believe you, brother. I'm extremely disappointed in Lil Wayne. How dare you go on national television, and I'm talking to you, Lil Wayne. How dare you go on national TV and tell the world via Skip Bayless, when asked about racism in America and when asked about police genocide, you tell Skip that you don't have a comment on it. And I'm paraphrasing, but I'm about 99% accurate with what you said. You told Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharp that you're not the right person to ask. That's what Lil Wayne said. I'm not the right person to be asking because I've been blessed so much. I've been blessed so much that I really, and I don't want to misquote him, but if my ears were working, I heard him say that he's the wrong person to ask because he's been blessed so much that he has not had to experience racism. Let me say this shit again. I got to say this again. I had to rewind that YouTube and play it back. I couldn't believe I heard a black man say that in America. Lil Wayne said he's the wrong person to ask because he's been so blessed that he has not experienced racism. Can somebody please call up the Guinness Book of World Records? Can somebody please call up the Guinness Book of World Records? Can someone please call up the Guinness Book of World Records and ask them to please insert the name of one Mr. Carter from New Orleans, because he's the first black man in American history to ever not experience racism. Can somebody please contact the Guinness Book of World Records and let them know that we have found a black man who has not experienced racism? Barack Obama is probably the most privileged black man in American history. Barack Obama is probably the most privileged black man in American history. He was the president of the United States. He had a white mother. He was raised by white grandparents, and even Barack Obama experienced racism. Colin Powell was the first black Secretary of State, a fair-skinned black man, okay? Very successful. Many believe if he would have ran for president, he would have won as a Republican. He has experienced racism. His wife has experienced racism. Michelle Obama has experienced. Condoleezza Rice has experienced racism. Supreme Court Justice Thomas Clarence Thomas has experienced racism. How in the hell does Lil Wayne, a melanated black man from the ghetto of New Orleans, how did you, sir, get through life and have never experienced racism? We just had a situation where T.I. and my man Jay Morrison, who I shared the stage with in New Jersey last year, shout out to them two brothers, T.I., who came to my Atlanta lecture 2 years ago. They just protested a restaurant in Atlanta for discriminating against rich and famous black folks. Rich and famous black. Oprah Winfrey, the richest woman on the planet, at least the richest black woman, got discriminated against at a boutique shop. Okay? So you got people who are way above Lil Wayne's pay grade, and he's a very successful millionaire, I take nothing away, who have experienced racism. My point is, how in the hell does Lil Wayne not experience racism? My brother, I hope one day you come to the realization of the mistake you made on national TV. That was an insult to every black man, an insult to every black woman. That was an insult to our ancestors and to your ancestors, my brother, to get on TV like that and defend the white racist power structure by saying you don't have no comments because you never experienced racism. With all due respect, my brother, you and I both know you's a goddamn lie. That was a goddamn lie for you to get on national TV and say some nonsense like that. Yes, it was last year. And maybe you didn't came to your senses, brother. But that is not acceptable. And see, you know what's good about this? Okay? There's nothing good about this. But figuratively speaking, you know what's good about this, brothers and sisters? Our children thought the athletes and the rappers were on their side. They're not. Let me say this again. Our children thought the athletes and the rappers were on their side. They're not. They're not. They will talk about selling dope. They will talk about killing other black men. They will talk about sexing all the women. Okay, smoking weed, buying all the expensive junk that white folks make. They will act like they down with the hood. But the minute white folks get angry, them Negroes will line up like an army of coons and defend their slave master. They will line up like an army of coons and defend their slave. Jalen Rose. Jalen Rose. Brother, you from the ghetto of Detroit. Why would you say you wouldn't have supported Kaepernick had you been in the league with him? Why not, Jalen? All the police brutality in Detroit, all the racism in Detroit, why would you not take a knee, Jalen Rose? Don't get me wrong, you didn't coon as bad as a Ray Lewis did, okay? But brother, come on, what's wrong with you? Deion Sanders, what's wrong with you? Shaquille O'Neal, why is y'all trying to create a narrative that basically tells the white man, listen, that was Colin Kaepernick, but not me. I wouldn't do that. That was Colin Kaepernick, boss, massa, but not me. Don't worry. I's a good nigger. I's a good nigger. If I was still playing football, I surely wouldn't take a knee. No, not me, massa. No, that's my flag, massa. That's my flag too. I love that flag. I love that anthem. Not me, not me. I wouldn't have took no knee. I think he had a right to protest, massa, but he don't protest with our flag. No, 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 no. We don't. That's my country. This is my country. I loves my country. I loves my country more than I love black life. I loves that flag more important than Tamir Rice, master. That flag way more important than Philando Castile, master. That flag way more important than Sandra. Yeah, that flag is more important. Even though I was a slave when y'all made that flag, even though I was a slave every time y'all upgraded that flag, even though I was a slave most of the time that y'all was waving that flag, master, that's still my flag, master. No, no, no. Colin Kaepernick went too far, master. If he don't get back in the league, that's his fault, master. But we not gonna go and help him out. Oh, no, no, no. We not gonna go and help him out. Yes, it was only one comment that I heard Jalen say that I didn't agree with. Yes, it was only comment that brother Deion Sanders made that I didn't agree with. Yes, it was only one comment that my brother Shaquille O'Neal made that I did not agree with. But it only takes one comment, brother. You were put on the spot and asked whether you stand with your people or whether you stand with the NFL, and y'all chose the NFL. Negroes for lease. Negroes for lease. Negroes for lease. I'm not trying to disrespect y'all. I'm trying to highlight the fact that y'all disrespecting our people. That's what I'm talking about. Shout out to T.I. T.I. been standing up, y'all. T.I. been standing up. Shout out to T.I. Charles Woodson, Heisman Trophy winner. Charles Woodson, Super Bowl champion with the Green Bay Packers. Charles Woodson, who retired with the... Shout out to Charles Woodson. He took a stand. Shout out to Charles Woodson. Chris Carter, I'm going to give you like a 50-50 because it seemed like you standing, but then you kind of go the other side. But I think you trying to stand. I think Chris Carter trying to stand. I think he's trying to stand. But you ain't as, you fluctuating a little bit. But I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt, and I'm going to give Chris Carter a little bit of a nod. He looked like he been trying to stand a little bit. Stephen A. Smith, thumbs down, brother. Stephen A. Smith, thumbs down, brother. Because at first, Stephen A. Smith looked like he was trying to play both sides. Okay, but I done heard you say a couple comments, bro, that went too far. That went too far. Okay, talking about how the NFL need to handle this situation, do something about it, put an end to it so people can get back to football. And if the owners want to, they have a right to say the players can't take a knee. First of all, what I don't like about this is I don't like how the NFL players is letting these damn owners treat y'all like y'all children. I don't like it. I do. Y'all better get some balls, okay? I'm just going to call it what it is. You don't let no owners sit up there and tell you that you can't take a knee to protest racial injustice against your people. Who the hell are you to tell me I can't take a knee? This is a First Amendment right, and I don't give a damn about no constitutional rights. I don't give a damn about no constitutional rights, because half the people who signed that were slave owners. So I got human rights. God gave me human rights. I don't need to look at no damn. Does the Constitution say I could take a knee? Does the Constitution? I don't give a damn about no Constitution. Give a damn about that. That document said that we were property, not people, and the Constitution still says we property, we not people. They ain't changed that language. They didn't change that language. Thomas Jefferson, daddy was a slave owner, and Thomas Jefferson was a slave owner. He ain't even liberate them slaves when he was almost time for him to die. They were sold off after him. Thomas Jefferson talking about, we hold these truths to be self-evident that all men are created equal. The hell out of here, you hypocrite. Raping Sally, him, his little black girl. Raping her since she was 11, 12 years old. That's a pedophile. That's a pedophile. Do y'all know all we needed was for every black athlete in the NFL to come out publicly as a movement? Until Colin worked, we ain't working. Until y'all should have backed y'all brother and y'all didn't. And that's what hurts me the most. It ain't even the fact y'all cooning on TV. It ain't even the fact y'all cooning on TV. Y'all couldn't even stand together for y'all brother. 85% the players are black. All y'all had to say, if Colin don't work, we don't work. That's all y'all had to do. Y'all couldn't even back him, and y'all left him out there and said, that's his problem, boss. That's his problem, massa. We not him. We don't know he crazy. That Negro right there. I don't know why, massa. I don't know why he would get involved in that, but we wouldn't do that. Even though we retired and we done made all the money we can make, massa, we still want to be on your TV. So don't worry about us, massa. We is not supporting no Colin Kaepernick. We ain't taking no knee. In fact, we don't even want to hear about no police brutality, massa. This is America, and America is good for us black folks. America, if it wasn't for slavery, we still be back in Africa in the trees, swinging around butt naked, eating each other, massa. So no. You will have no problem from us. A damn disgrace to y'all race, selling out the whole people for some money. But again, brothers and sisters, I'm glad, because our children need to see that the rappers, many of them, and the athletes are not down with the struggle. You want to wear Air Jordans? Michael Jordan ain't saying nothing about police genocide. That's right. You want to go to the football game and you want to look at the NBA All-Star game, but they not speaking up against your oppression. The athletes and the entertainers are the new black bourgeoisie. The athletes and the entertainers are the new Coon Illuminati. 100 years ago, it was the doctors who was the coons. 100 years ago, it was the lawyers who was the coons. 100 years ago, it was the engineers who was the coons. 100 years ago, it was the educators who was the coons. 100 years ago, it was the psychologists and the psychiatrists and the historians, the coons. In the 21st century, the academics are not the coons. The athletes and the entertainers are the coons. Facts. Now when they want to dismiss black people, they put some ignorant Negro who used to play football or basketball on TV, and they use that ignorant Negro to erase and disgrace our struggle. And nobody should be watching the NFL. We still boycotting. If you watching Thursday Night Football, you a coon. If you watching Thursday Night Football, you's a coon. The hell wrong with you? Talking about how you gonna take a knee for our flag? That flag ain't nothing but slavery. That flag was conceived in slavery. What's wrong with y'all? That ain't our flag. Every time they upgraded that flag, we was a slave. The final version came out in the 60s when they was locking up and killing black men during the sit-ins and the protests and the Black Power movement. That flag ain't us. Ain't no color black on that flag. That ain't my damn flag. What's wrong with you Negroes? And as far as that Star-Spangled Banner, are you Negroes crazy? Do you know who wrote that? Francis Scott Key was a racist, a white supremacist slave owner who could not stand the abolitionist movement, did all he could to shut down the abolitionist movement, locked up as many abolitionists as he possibly could. That's who he was, the author of the Star-Spangled Banner. And in the third stanza, he specifically included the word slave in reference to the fact that slaves who stood up against the U.S. government would not be spared during their fight against foreign powers, particularly the Revolutionary War. If you was a slave and you sided with the British, we're going to kill you too. No slave will be spared who stands against this government fighting for their liberty. Francis Scott Key. The damn song was about catching and killing black people. The damn song was about catching and killing black people. Read the third stanza. Read it. They took it out to hide the truth of the reality of what that song stood for. Colin Kaepernick, whether he did it on purpose or not, was a genius to choose the anthem and the flag as the symbols of his protest. Because by doing it, it forced people to study what that flag really means, and it forced people to study who wrote in the history of the national anthem, the Star-Spangled Banner. It's racist, written by a racist, and even talked about slaves in the damn song. And you got the audacity to tell me I can't take a knee during the song that's about my enslavement, written by a slave master who did all he could to stop me from earning my freedom? And y'all talking about we can't take a knee? Says who? Coons? But I know you Negroes love the NFL more than you love black people. Go ahead and watch your Thursday night football. I know you still sneaking and watching it. Go ahead. You ain't for real. See, the problem with us, we are not serious yet. We just want to look like it. You know damn well you still watching Sunday football. Stop lying. The NFL owners have told you to your face, we don't give a damn about black folks. They know that protest wasn't about no flag, even though it had a right to be. They know that protest wasn't about the Star-Spangled Banner, even though it had a right to be. They know that. The reason they're making it about that is because they don't want to address the reason Colin Kaepernick took a knee in the first place, and that is the killing of black folks by police. They don't care. They don't care. That's the message. They know what this is about. They know this ain't about no flag and anthem. It's about genocide, but they don't care. So why are you watching it? Why is your son running around with NFL jerseys on? Why are you paying for NFL tickets? They don't care. They've told you this. And again, I love my brothers, but I got to call a spade a spade. Shannon Sharp, thank you. Shannon Sharp, thank you. Shannon Sharp, brothers and sisters, more than any other NFL player I've seen yet, has spoken consistently and unapologetically about the racism in America, the racism in sports, the contradiction. Thank you, Shannon Sharp, for checking your brother Ray Lewis. Thank Ray Lewis, my brother. Ray Lewis, my brother. You have cooned so bad, my brother, that they damn near need to put your face in the dictionary next to the word coon. And I don't mean no disrespect, my brother, but I didn't think I would live to see a black man buck dance and boot lick white folk the way you have done over this Colin Kaepernick situation.
You did take a knee when you are allegedly on record as saying that you never would. Talk about
actually
what
two
happened.
knees.
And that's the point.
Let's make sure. You hear people saying, "Oh, he took a knee." I absolutely did not take a knee. I walked onto the ballot.
Hold on, let's be clear. When you say you hear people say.
You hear Shannon Sharp going out there talking about I dropped on a knee and this is about, oh, I sat in the chair next to him and I said I would never do this and I still didn't do it. I'm watching young kids just confused. Everybody confused. Nobody don't know what they're talking about. What I'm gonna do if I'm gonna stand up, if I'm gonna grab hands, if I'm gonna interlock, what am I gonna do? So I walked away, JB, and I didn't drop on one knee in order to protest. Boom, I dropped on 2 knees, both knees, so I can simply honor God in the midst of chaos.
And Ray, now hold on. So you are passionately making this point, which, by the way, you were very passionate in our production meeting as well. So put a little bit of context on this. The reason you mentioned Shannon, meaning Shannon Sharp, your former teammate, why are you mentioning him? What does he have to do?
He goes out and tells somebody why he's so disappointed in me.
In you?
Yeah, absolutely. First of all, I'm 42 years old with 6 kids. I'm a grown man. So to be disappointed in me, it really sparked me. And now all of these people are going off his sound bites of how he's so shocked that I dropped on the knee to protest. Really? You got my phone number, brother. A friend picks up the cell phone and say, bro, what was your intention? What were you doing? You saw my mouth moving. I asked the Lord.
And your mouth moving was because?
Praying.
And when the whole NFL took a knee, you got on TV and said you didn't take 1 knee, you took 2? It wasn't about Colin Kaepernick. You took 2 knees so you could pray? I mean, are they grooming you to be the next coach or the GM? What the hell is wrong with you, brother? You got down on the knee with the prayers in unity and then sold them out and said you put 2 knees down because you was praying to God. I want to know what God Ray Lewis is praying to. I want to know what God is Ray Lewis praying to. Because if my God, if the God of Black Africa condones your conduct as it relates to the protests against police genocide taking place in the NFL, I need to know what God that is, brother. I hope you do something for your people to square your conduct and consciousness with us, because you, my brother, have been a disgrace to your race. I understand what you've been through. I believe some of that plays a part in this ridiculous behavior you've been showcasing, my brother. Okay? And I'm not here to insult you, but I did not appreciate the way you handled the Freddie Gray protests either. You did not speak to what happened to Freddie Gray. You did not speak to the systematic injustices in Baltimore, Maryland. You did not speak to the police abuse against our children and high school students in Baltimore, Maryland. You did not speak to the fact that the whole protest was triggered by the police. You did not. You sided with the white power structure against our brothers and sisters. I understand they gave you a statue, brother. But if you ain't careful, that statue ain't going to be there because the brothers and sisters signed a petition to take that statue down. And unfortunately, my brother, after 20 years, and you was an excellent athlete, but the way you have conducted yourself with this situation, you don't deserve that statue, brother, until you do something to square yourself with your people. And don't get me wrong, Shaq, Jalen, Deion, Michael Vick, they didn't go as far as Ray Lewis. Compared to Ray Lewis, they revolutionaries, and they ain't none of them no revolutionaries. But compared to Ray Lewis, my brother, good God Almighty, step and fetch your revisited, brother. Step and fetch your reincarnated. Damn. So, in Jim Brown, but Jim Brown a little older now, so with the elders, the minds can play tricks on you. I'm not going to knock him too much because Jim Brown was a stand-up man, but his comments was absolutely ridiculous too. Okay, a lot of stand-up black men. It reminded me of Obama. When Obama got elected, a lot of black people started saying racism is over. With this NFL protest, I'm seeing a lot of black people side with the power structure. Let me say this. The situation don't make the man. It reveals you to yourself. The situation don't make the man. In other words, they're not cooning because they're rich. Okay? Richness brought it out, but the coon was already there. If Dr. Umar Johnson marries a white woman, if I marry a white woman 20 years from now, guess what? That didn't just happen. It was in me already. Situations manifest your true character. These Negroes was never loyal to us to begin with. Drop off some toys at the hospital, make a couple donations to the community center. But when it comes to showing up and showing out, they not going to do that. Because what I need y'all to understand, it's not the money. Or should I say, it's not only the money, but They value their relationships with white people more than they value their relationship with their own people. Shaq is a millionaire. Deion is a millionaire. Jalen is a millionaire. I'm sure Mike Vick is comfortable. They value. And I'm not singling them out because most athletes would do the same ridiculous, make the same ridiculous statements they made. They value their relationship to the power structure. I'm not surprised they did that. And if you are a public school teacher, if you are a charter school teacher, if you are an independent school teacher, parochial school teacher, please do a lesson on this. Don't let this NFL protest situation, because it's going to be dead by next season. It's going to be dead by next season. The example they made out of Colin Kaepernick that made everybody scared to speak up. Just like the example they made out of Muammar Gaddafi made all the African leaders scared to speak up. The example they made of Colin Kaepernick made all athletes scared to speak up. So this is going to be dead next season. This is the last season for this. Negroes are more concerned with money than freedom. Okay? And guess what? Most of y'all the same way. Let's just can we keep it real? Most of y'all the same way. You can be paid to sell out. Yes, you can. Yes. Jesse Jackson and Al Sharpton 30 years ago was talking like me 30 years ago. Look at them now. They have been compromised by cash. Compromised by cash. Sold out.